Hey folks, Pete here from Thairish Times. In this video we're going to talk to 3 expats on Koh Chang to give you an update on how Koh Chang is doing in its current situation. Now I've spent the last week here on Koh Chang, and I was here last year in 2021. I was here in June, July for about 6 weeks, 2021, and I was also here in October 2021. And on both those trips, the island was completely dead. So things were really bad here on the island. And the 3 expats that we're going to talk to later on in the video, I interviewed them last year, and one of them, Molly Mills, told me that he hadn't had a customer in 19 months. However, I've seen a big improvement on this trip compared to October 2021. Many of the businesses that were closed in October are now open again. There seems to be a positive vibe on the island. People are more upbeat, more hopeful for the future. However, as you can imagine, the island is nowhere near full capacity. There's still a lot of closed businesses here. People are still struggling, and with 2 months to go till the end of high season, there could be tough times ahead for Koh Chang. Anyway, that's enough from me. Let's go and speak to the 3 expats and find out what they have to say. Now, first up is Crystal, and she has a resort called Cliff Cottage Resort, and she also has a diving company called BB Divers. After that, we're going to speak to Molly Mills, who has a guest house. And myself and Molly, like I said earlier, did an interview, and the title of that interview was "I've had 1 customer in 19 months." So I hope Molly's doing okay. And then after that we have David Newman, who has a guest house in the Lonely Beach area, and it's called Little Eden. So let's get into it, folks. All right, so Crystal, it's been 6 months since we've had our interview.
Yep.
Tell us, between July 2021 and now January 2022, how has Koh Chang been? How has your business been?
Well, since December we got customers again, so that's nice. Yeah. Before we had we had the lockdown, and then we started to have a few more people, and then people needed to be vaccinated to get to the island, but there was not enough vaccine, so they couldn't come. But then finally vaccines started to come around, so we have locals, expats, and then when the test and go opened up, then it was a dream. Yeah. We got people in the rooms, we got people in the restaurant, we got divers and snorkelers again. We got friends on a visit. It was lovely, yeah.
So last time we did our interview, you said you had 50 staff working for you in high season. It's high season now.
Yeah.
So how many staff do you have working for you now?
So now I'm completely understaffed. It's like, yeah. There's some people, well, eventually people left. We talked in July, so I kept more staff until then, but then, I mean, when people had to be vaccinated to come to the island, it was just so dead, I just didn't pull it anymore. So quite a lot of people went back to stay with their families. Quite a few Cambodians went back to Cambodia to stay there, and they actually all had work in Cambodia, so that was good for them. But then when everything opened up again, then it started to be quite busy quite quickly, and then there was no staff to be found. I mean, every hotel was struggling, every business was struggling, every restaurant was struggling, so me included. I think we had about 20 people left working. And so I closed up Koh Chang because it was not very busy there. So we still have Koh Chang and Koh Kut and the guest house. And so yeah, everybody just had to work very hard. We tried to find some freelancers for the diving. And then luckily when the borders opened up, some friends came who are also dive instructors, so they helped out. But here in the restaurant we really struggled. So. But luckily, I mean, it was a luxury problem to have not enough staff. So the guests, they understood. Like, let's say we have 1 cook and we have 2 girls in the bar who have to work from morning till evening, and then we found somebody extra for cleaning, and the customers sort of understood. Like, if you had 2 or 3 tables waiting and somebody else came in, we said, like, look, we're very sorry, but it's going to take quite a while to get your food, and you know, with the COVID we're a bit understaffed, and people understood.
Do you expect the island to get busier now that the Thailand Pass is being resumed again in February?
Let's hope so. I think so. We're still a bit careful, and like I haven't yet taken on new staff because it was only like 3 weeks we were full almost, and then after that it really calmed down again with the borders closing again. So we haven't really taken on any new staff, but we're slowly looking out to take. If this one day pass now will continue, we hope it will be more busy and we stay more busy. Actually, I really think that in Europe, in the Western world, people really want to come to Thailand. You know, they want to get out. They've been locked for 2 years almost, so they want to get out. I have so many people who jumped on the test and go when it opened, and so many people who just missed it and now are very frustrated. So I think many people will come.
So Koh Chang is going to be a sandbox starting in February. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So there's quite a few hotels who have the SHA++, so they can be sandbox. They are sandbox. People can do quarantine, like some countries still need to do sandbox, or people who didn't get the vaccination, the vaccines, they have to do sandbox, and then they can also do this famous day 5. You know, they have to do quarantine in Bangkok one day when they arrive, or Phuket, or they have to do day 1 when they arrive, and then day 5 they have to do a quarantine again. So they can do this in this. Sandbox hotels on the island. There's about, I think there's about 30 or more hotels, so they can just stay there one night or longer, and they can move around. They just need to stay in that 1/5 day, and then they can move around anywhere on the island, and they can also stay anywhere on the island or Thailand.
Has there been many suicides on the island? Because usually when there's an economic recession, and people are really pushed to their limit, the suicide rate goes high. I know in Bangkok there was a lot of suicides in the last year, 2 years.
Yeah.
How about over here?
Not that I know of, no. But people are a bit, how to say, of course life here is easier, I think, than for instance in Bangkok. Like, I know a lot of people who really they had to sell their motorbike. You know, there's people like taxi drivers, they lost their cars because they can't do the payments for the car. People have one motorbike on down payment, they had to sell it because they don't have salaries. They can't pay the rent, so what they do is people go live back in the family. I know, like, also some of my staff, they just went to stay again with mom and dad like they used to do before, and they'll go back home. But the thing is, here life is still quite good. You know, you go out here, you have squid. You go out there, you have fish. It's different, I think, than in the city. So people lost a lot of money. A lot of people lost their income. A lot of people, like quite a few people, like literally took down their house and took the roof and the metal beams that they use and took it to their home where they're from. You know, I mean, some people come from Isan, some people come from the north, from the south. So they just literally destroyed the house, took everything they can still use, and took it back to the family, and then use it again there to make a smaller house and survive. So as far as I know, I've seen a lot of people who had quite good business, especially on the island here, have always been busy, and people are creative. But yeah, a lot of people lost a lot. But I haven't really heard of suicide. No, just very close to having no money to having no money. A lot of people. Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
you.
And
we're back here again.
Yeah, fingers crossed. You're back with a full guest house.
Oh yeah, for sure. Best of luck. Thank you very much. So Molly, thanks very much for doing this. It's been, I think, 3 or 4 months. It was October 2021 that we did the interview.
That long already?
Yeah, and the title of that interview was, I had one customer in 19 months. And you basically told us that was it. You know, you had one customer in 19 months. Now, January, well, nearly February 2022. How are things going over here?
Well, we had a bit of a boost for Christmas and New Year. That was okay. I think everyone picked up some customers. Right now, I'm okay. I've had a few customers this week. Got people in rooms now. It's not comparable to a regular high season, but all things given, it's the best we can do. It's all right. It's okay.
Do you think the Thailand Pass has been good, like when it opened in November, December?
It has, but not necessarily for true tourists. They're more like you know, long-term tourists, expats, I guess you can call them. And you know, they've all got reasons to be here more than just bumming around on holiday.
So are you hopeful that the Thailand Pass coming in February is going to be good for Koh Chang and your business?
It'll help a bit. Yeah, it'll help a bit. Not too much, because people have already have booked their winter holidays, more than likely been on them already, you know.
When does the rainy season start in Koh Chang?
A little bit in May, then gets progressively worse until August, September, when it's really
Okay.
yeehaw monsoon style. We are not looking across the river, it's proper rain.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a beautiful place here. Tell us about your place.
My place? Well, I suppose Buddha made the river and I made moles. I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah.
It's an estuary, isn't it? Frontline estuary.
Yeah, it's 1.5 metre tide here when they're really big tides. And just now it's real low tide. You could wade across that there. Yeah.
People can kayak up and down here.
Yeah, yeah. And the big thing is SUPs at the minute. That's a real booming trade, is the stand-up paddleboard trade. It sells well.
Okay.
In fact, when you arrived, there was a bunch of people out there paddleboarding, weren't there?
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
If there was anyone that's considering coming to Thailand now, because the whole Thailand Pass is starting again in February, a lot of people are, probably going to think, where will I go on holiday this year? Will I come to Phuket, or will I go to Samui? Will I go to Koh Chang? Why should they come here?
You come here because it's a lifestyle choice. It actually does feel like an island. You can feel it when you get off the ferry. It's got a special vibe about it. Crime rate's low. There's enough to do here. It mostly evolves around beach life. If you don't like beach life, you're probably wasting your time on Koh Chang.
And what you said about the low crime rate, I can vouch for that as well. I've never seen anything bad happen here. I'm sure there's some things that happen, but I've always felt safe here.
Yeah, I don't feel threatened here whatsoever.
And like you said, the island vibe, Phuket has lost that island vibe for me. It's really busy, traffic.
And just, people are just generally happy and chatty here. You go down to the pub and or the bars or whatever you want to call them, you just get chatting to strangers. It's great. It's just got that vibe about it.
So last time you were selling pies to keep the business ticking over. Are you still selling the pies?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gradually getting better and better, to be fair. Pie trade, Koh Chang's pie peddler.
When do you sell them?
I'll sell them wherever I see a bunch of people. So I'm driving around in my sidecar and I see a bunch of people and I'll just stop and get talking to them, and next thing you know, we've got pies in our hands, I have a beer and move on.
Fair play.
It's great.
Molly, thank you very much for doing this, and wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
We'll do an update again in a couple of months. I've no doubt that things are going to pick up in Koh Chang. I've seen it already a little bit myself, but I hope it does.
Yeah, I'm sure this year will pick up a bit. It won't be as bad as last year. You can't get any worse than last year. That
was terrible.
That's shocking.
David, it has been 6 months since we've done an interview together, and 6 months ago, Lonely Beach is the guest house, the area where your guest house is, was completely devastated. How are things now for you and in Lonely Beach?
Well, Lonely Beach is still very quiet, because a lot of places have gone. They've left, they've taken everything away, so it's not very inviting anymore, and people are seeing this on YouTube and stuff. But people are starting to come back and start to rebuild and open new places again. But since 6 months, when we had the last chat, we were empty, of course. But in November, this what's it called? That Test and Go, was opened up, allowed a lot of customers to come through, and we started getting customers November, December. December was we got about 18% occupancy. Usually it's 100. But 18, which is better than last year. Last year was much less, last December. And January as well, we got about 15%, and no future bookings. So, but now they're doing a test and go again from February, so there should be more people getting through and coming again, I think.
Ireland now has just eased all restrictions.
Okay.
So I think countries are starting to realise that we're not going to get rid of this, we just need to
live with it.
And that's what I'm kind of feeling in Thailand as well. It's not this kind of shut down policy that we used to have, like, oh, there's COVID here, now your business needs to be shut down for a month.
Mm-hmm.
people are just kind of getting on with it. I think the Thai government have realised that they just have to roll with it.
We hope so. We hope so, because they were getting on with it. That's why they did the test and go, and then shut it down again because this Omicron thing, yeah? Because they were scared. Of course they were scared, yeah. They're only just people, and they've never been through any of this sort of situation before in their lives, so, you know, they're just trying to be careful, yeah, I think. But anyway, maybe that's the wrong decision, but you know afterwards, yeah? So now they're opening up again. They should have done a couple of weeks ago when they realised, not wait for the 1st of February. But anyway, that's how things are going to go, I think. I think it's going to be starting to roll in again, unless we get another variant, which is more dangerous, of course.
So your place is called Little Eden.
Yes, that's right.
Tell us about your place.
Well, it's a little resort. I've got 15 rooms. I've got 3 with aircon and 11 just fan rooms, which are nice and cosy with thatched roofs. Yeah. We're up in the jungle away from the main village, which is nice and quiet with a jungle sort of ambience here. It's really nice. Yeah. A lot of wildlife. Yeah. And ants.
Monkeys?
Monkeys, lots of monkeys, yes. Every morning when they get up, they come down from the jungle and they pass through here and they just grab anything they can. So we got a trash can at the back, and they knock it over, they take everything out of there. They can get into the kitchen sometimes, and actually this afternoon, they're in there. I've got some cashew nuts in one of these clip boxes, and they chewed through the box and stole all my cashew nuts this afternoon. They're so annoying. Yeah?
Are they aggressive?
Not as much as I know, but most people have catapults, which keeps them a bit away. Yeah.
We won't go down into that question because
yeah, right. Okay.
Could have some animal rights activists here.
Of course, yeah. You have to get them away somehow because they get too close to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They come into the kitchen, they don't care if you're in the kitchen as well. They just take what they want and go.
Thank you very much for your time, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I hope things go well here in Lonely Beach. It's yeah, like you said, it's been hit really hard. I'm seeing more tourists back, and you said you've got some people here now. You got how many guests?
I've
here
got
now?
three rooms at the moment.
Okay.
But next month on the 4th we're empty again. And I've got nothing, no future bookings after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
We'll see.
All right. Well, thanks very much.
My pleasure.
So that's been an update from 3 expats on Koh Chang. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to build this thing. See if we can get to 10k. We need your help. Thanks very much. See you on the next one.